You're listening to the Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast. This is Lock Pod, Season 15, Episode 11, coming to you live from the Nika IBEW Power in Indiana Lake County Studio.
Good morning.
I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy that you are here.
Everybody's talking in here, and you're talking about like this is the best parts of the show. I don't think the past 5 minutes was the best part of the show.
The best part is before we go live.
No, it was just John talking about buttholes.
So
normal
listen,
Cantrell.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get everybody mitts. You know, like when or gloves, mitts or gloves,
mittens.
So when everybody is talking beforehand, and you don't want
baseball
anybody
talk.
lip readers.
Baseball
you're
talk.
talking to your glove
Yeah,
on the mound. So
we talked about that.
Yeah, so
we've done that before.
Yeah,
baseball talk.
A lot of times I will have my wife, who is a very, very good lip reader. Mm-hmm. She can pick up what you guys say. Yeah, she's really good.
Good to know.
Because like before the show, I do think about. Sometimes I'm saying stuff.
Dad has dropped some major tea, and he's like, "We can't talk about this
right before the show." But if they had lip readers,
you better start baseball talk.
I know. I got to start doing baseball talk.
Yeah. Just the best thing to do is just bite your lip when you're talking, because you can still hear, and it doesn't.
Let's see how you do that. Try
hey Kevin, you look handsome today. Extra handsome.
But Dad, we all have our ads in front of us. So it's got to know one of these bad boys.
That's right. Everybody knows you're handsome.
Everybody's talking over each
other. Sorry, Kevin.
All right. Let's all talk one at a time.
Is this baseball talk?
Yeah. Thank you for having me here. I feel like 11 episodes is too long, so thank you.
Well, in jail and at court every day, and you are today.
Yeah, we've asked John a couple times to come back.
And he's been he's had to decline.
I wanted to come last Friday, but last Friday was a pretrial for the trial I'm in this week, and
it was at 8 a.m. Last Friday?
It was at 8 a.m.
Whoa, we can't let that go.
No, you can't.
Why?
So you're in the middle of a trial?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got to abruptly run out. I
got to leave at 8:05.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, 8:05 should be right in the middle of commercials. It'd be perfect.
That's perfect. That's great.
So we have this chain. Johnny is like one of the shadow producers of the show. He gives us he's like constantly giving us ideas for stories. We have a text chain. It's called Staunch Heteros.
John named
True.
John made this chain probably
out of nowhere, like
he didn't want
to.
So on this chain is like
manly men.
With stories that may not want to be presented to women, right? So it's just like story ideas.
Wait. I did not take it that way.
No. Really? What is it called? Staunch Heteros.
It's just some bizarre thing that John does. I just assume it's like one of
I took it that way.
Crazy
and
things
I noticed
that John
it's
like
does. I think it's like stories John may not feel comfortable busting out in front of Lindsay and Jill. And,
I didn't think that.
I've never seen one story that we wouldn't feel comfortable.
Never.
Well,
I think it was
today's show is filled with them.
Well, didn't we talk about a story about Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, you made Tom buy a candle.
That wasn't John.
I baited.
I'm sorry, you made Tom buy a candle.
I baited Tom into buying a candle.
Yeah, where's that candle?
I threw it out.
It cost us like $150.
I threw it out.
You serious?
Did you really?
When
did
you
do that?
Somewhere.
Because every time you sit in Kevin's chair, for some reason, it smells like
it ends up there.
Vagina.
Really?
So.
Maybe the candle has a mind of its own.
Maybe it does.
Yeah. But that was like $125 candle, and Kevin thought of it as a fire hazard. So,
it was a lockpod charge. Yeah. But there's another candle idea out there right now. Sydney Sweeney's got one.
Who?
It's not Sydney Sweeney.
Soap.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bath water. She takes a bath in it and then bathes herself, and then they use the bath water to make soap.
What freaks would buy
There's
that?
a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
I know what I'm getting Kevin
girl,
for Father's Day.
Bag.
What's that, Linz?
I said, girl, get your bag. That's fine with me.
I agree.
All these,
if they want to use my
friggin'
bath water, go for it, dude. Like, whatever.
Who is going to buy that?
Women have been doing this on OnlyFans
people.
for years.
Mayor Tom's bath water.
Nobody would buy my bath water. Shit.
That's the title.
Hammond doesn't even want my bath water.
Okay, so we got to either call 18th Street or Byway. Let Tom take a bath in one of those big vats.
Yeah,
and then we'll make some soap and see if we can sell it. That's
Unilever?
the only way to tell.
Yeah,
you could only find out if you could sell it if you try it. So let's try it. Let's go for it.
Now, see, like
Lockpod special.
How gamey would you get? Like, how many days would
That's
you?
That's what I was going to ask.
I'll go
is
gross.
This like a post?
You got to go.
Yeah, I'll do a lot of cycling.
Yeah,
get really
go
sweaty.
to a dead show.
But then
really sweaty dead show would be perfect, right? And then I'll just be really nasty and I'll jump into this little vat.
God.
But you're going to clean some parts.
I'll clean
extra,
it all.
like,
I'll come out of there clean as
no. You're going to take it.
What is happening
You're going
right
to take
now,
a dude.
We're talking about
this
Mayor Tom
gross.
Soap. We're trying to make money here, Lindsay.
Hey, listen,
we're not. This is a hypothetical, and
do you think Unilever would? If we can get a hold of Unilever, they could do this like in town.
Unilever is a worldwide soap company,
and they're in your
city.
They
love me.
Wait, have you guys seen Saltburn, the movie?
No.
There's a bathwater scene in that.
Marissa, what is that about? I think Marissa watched that, and she was telling me
it's about
it was
a
good.
psychopath.
Yeah, I think Marissa
Don't give
that.
it away. Don't give it away.
I thought it was a good movie.
I think that was a very succinct description. It's about a psychopath.
Don't be giving away the plot.
That's it.
I didn't think you gave it away. Lance.
Jill is in chat, and she said, I don't know how to interpret this, but she said, John, I'm assuming Cantrell, can bust out whatever he wants in front of me.
Oh, my God.
Hello.
Well, so first of all, Jill texted.
I don't know, yeah. Sometimes shit is misinterpreted through text.
Jill already texted me, and she ordered 3 cases of Tom soap.
Nice.
Yes.
Thank you, Jill.
Are you doing orders?
Yeah.
John's writing orders down right now.
Lindsay's not necessary. I didn't think Lindsay was going to be a buyer, but she's on the fence.
I'm not on the fence.
Lindsay said if Lockpod buys it, she'll take it.
Maybe 1 case for Lindsay.
All right. I'm going to
There's your
go
Christmas
to
present.
Man soap. It's Tom Dad Man soap. You could call it Dad Man soap.
Just under the Christmas tree. To Lindsay from Dad.
Santa from Santa.
Merry Christmas, Lindsay.
It's not even packaged nice. It's just like in a bag. Like,
like a bar of soap.
It's used.
It's a block of soap.
It's like old school, like large soap.
Irish
Here you go,
Spring.
baby.
Irish Spring.
Tom's Irish Spring.
They're like, everybody buys it like, this is Irish Spring. They scraped off the top. We got skipped. It's like that scammy candle that we bought that Kevin threw out.
I think he better not have thrown out that candle.
I think you should at least ask if anybody else wanted it.
That's true.
You didn't
give it away. I threw it on the.
We have a Lockpod closet in this office. So I'm gonna
there's a lot of people who've come out of the Lockpod closet. To be honest with you.
Believe it or not, we actually do have an episode today. Like we have some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, it wasn't about Tom's man soap
no,
either, believe it or not.
Here we are, 15
Let's roll
minutes
into. I saw a video.
It's 8:05. John has to leave.
Yeah, I saw a video of President Biden the other day, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So why don't we start off with that, if you don't mind?
This was a staunch heteros edition.
It was.
Oh,
this is right off that
God,
staunch
we
heteros.
can't show women this.
This is the worst. Staunch heteros apply on the earth. I swear to God.
This was
gross.
This was interesting to me because you don't hear much from Biden anymore,
Right?
And all of a sudden he comes out swinging here.
Well, it's
saying,
like post book.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
That's true. Here it is.
And there's also been a lot of discussion recently about your mental and physical capabilities while you were in office.
You can see that. I'm mentally incompetent, and I can't walk, and I can beat the hell out of both of them.
Do you want to reply to any of those reports, and also to the fact that there are some Democrats who are now questioning whether you should have run for re-election in the first place?
Why didn't they run against me then? Because I'd have beaten them.
Do you have any...
Whoa.
What a load of crap. They did run against you, and you guys rigged the primary, Mr. President. There was a congressman called Dean Phillips. He gave up his career to run against you, Mr. President, and you and your freaking corrupt-ass DNC blocked him out. And he ruined his career running against you, trying to tell America what everybody knew was he was incompetent. But President Biden was impaired.
Dean Phillips was not a real candidate. I mean,
he was a U.S. congressman.
I think what I would say even more is
you can't run for president if you're a congressman.
Well, sure you can. You can run for president as mayor. Pete Buttigieg did. So I think the point is that what I was trying to say is that, like, I think a real primary is what we got gypped out of.
Yes.
I mean, like, to me,
like
I
the
want
Buttigieg's and the Whitmers and the Newsoms.
You can say all you want about
Andy
Congressman
Beshears.
so-and-so from Minnesota, but, like...
He gave up his career,
Fine,
Kevin.
I'm saying that. Great, good for him. I'm just saying, like, I wanted a real primary.
Don't you think that the most shocking part of that is how much the press left him out of
Yes.
They gave him most people didn't even know he's running. Even if you're a political
We
watchdog.
talked about it here on Lockpod, but we didn't even know his name. I'm like, there's a congressman running for president right now, but we did because the media didn't allow us to know his name. I could have done
I remember
that.
when Tom mentioned
they just boxed him out.
Yeah, and
then Biden is like, hey, do you want to have a debate for president of the United States? And Biden said, no, I'm not going to debate you.
Right.
That's really honest. Honest broker there, Joe Biden.
And Trump didn't want to debate either the 16 people that were running against him.
True story.
I think
but Trump wasn't like impaired.
Agreed.
We weren't worried about Trump's impairment.
Since we'd had the book on, and I've continued to kind of read the parts that I just kind of skimmed over. It just is infuriating. The more and more, that's my kind of take.
Guys,
on when I
right
read that
here,
book.
he looks impaired in this
I
video
agree.
clip. He doesn't look like
he didn't even make any sense.
No,
he said
because he said, "Look,
what
is the both of them?
Who knows, John?"
And
I
by the
agree
way,
with you. So he looks impaired in this interview where he's trying to say, "Look at me, I'm great." He looks impaired like crazy,
and he thinks he's making a joke, and he's not. It's like it's just really off.
His handlers, and I know on Lockpod you guys rip on his handlers and blame him for all the downfall of the Democratic Party, and I agree, but all they had to do, like they said he was sick going into that debate, because the debate crushed everything and made everybody very aware.
It was impossible to hide it.
Yeah.
Right.
So why wouldn't he come out and just have a press conference, be like, listen, I'm sick, I lost my voice, I'm not going to debate, we're going to reset this for 2 weeks.
Because that would have, you're right, he wouldn't have lost his election at that point like he did. That would have definitely not helped him.
He would have. But I mean, if he just came out and talked, all they did was just hide him and then pop him in.
Well, I think it's a total study in like people that didn't want. I think people were thinking somehow the Democrats are. There's no way we're going to elect Trump again.
Right.
And so I don't want to be on the side of I'm against Biden.
Yes.
Because he's going to win.
He's the president.
He
can't.
He can't lose to Trump.
You go tell the president.
So nobody spoke up.
You go tell the president that he can't be the president.
I spoke up.
Yeah.
I'm saying in the inner circle, nobody spoke up.
If I was in the inner circle, I would have spoke up, and that's why I think anybody in that inner circle should be disqualified from politics, including friends of mine. I think that if you were in that room, if you're a part of the cabinet, you're part of the scam. You're part of the reason Donald Trump's president right now. That's the way I see the world. And it's like, you can't tell me otherwise. Like a guy like Pete Buttigieg, who's smart as hell, okay? Pete Buttigieg is one of the smartest people I've ever worked with. Kevin, would you say the same thing?
He's one of the smartest people I've ever met.
Okay, so Pete Buttigieg is this person. Pete Buttigieg is the Department of Transportation secretary. And from what we're reading in the book, they said that guys like Pete Buttigieg were given a script to read and say, this is what you asked the president. And then what Pete also realized is they're also telling the president, this is how you're going to answer Secretary Buttigieg's question. Just read the prompter right there. So it was all like a freaking act so that we would think that the president was not impaired. And everybody was part of it, including the cabinet.
Yeah, I think it's more, to me, there's levels of responsibility, and the campaign side and that like inner circle, the names I don't even remember anymore, these 5 people, they're on the top of the list.
Yeah.
Do you blame Kevin at all for how much the Trump administration has helped him in his personal life?
What?
Because Trump is fighting with Harvard. Now Penn is really increasing. It's going up.
Yeah,
so now,
true. Good point.
Penn have an Ivy League school.
By the way, Donald Trump's got connections to Penn.
He is alumni.
Right?
So are his
What?
kids. Yeah.
This is his effort to boost up Penn, right, Kevin?
Yes, maybe.
Yes. This is an effort to boost Penn. It's trying to get Penn into the Elite 3, Harvard, Princeton, Yale.
But if it is
We're-
in the Elite
we're
3,
close.
Kevin wasn't there during the Elite 3
Penn
days.
is
That's
tired.
true. It was the old days.
Penn is
The old
tired.
non-elite
Penn
days.
alums are tired of getting treated like second-class Ivy Leaguers.
I hear Kevin say that shit all the time.
Constantly.
John, when I was there, there was
Where? When I was at Penn?
There's a big.
When I was at Penn.
Let me get my monocle.
That's the show title.
There's a big plaque.
When I was at Penn.
Big plaque of Donald Trump in
Okay,
Wharton.
so do you know what's going on in the scandal with that? Because
No.
Barron has chosen to go to New York University.
Oh, NYU.
Yeah, he's
In
going
town.
to NYU.
He is
And
actively going there. He
the-
just finished his first year.
The rest of the Trump kids all went to Penn.
They did.
Like Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bounce forward to the next topic. Elon Musk. Elon Musk allegedly took large amounts of drugs, including ketamine, while advising Trump.
This makes so much more sense now.
I agree with you, right?
You mean the video of his eyes rolling back? Yeah, at
Well,
the inauguration.
like,
Yes.
How about
It
the
does
video
make a
of
lot more
him
noise.
jumping like a cheerleader on stage?
Totally agree.
Right?
The chainsaw incident.
The chainsaw incident, agree. Like these wild, ridiculous things that he did.
This man was high on ketamine and they gave him a chainsaw.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Jesus Christ.
Allegedly is the key word here.
That's right.
What is ketamine? Was that like a operational
I think it's
drug?
a
list?
horse
It's a
tranquilizer.
tranquilizer, yeah. It's like a.
What is it? What's the purpose? Like if people
It's a
get
downer.
high,
It puts you under.
I've heard people like at dead shows selling it.
In
Yes,
small
I have
doses,
Like
yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I've heard it as
This
well.
is what.
What does it do to you if you
here
take
it
it,
is.
Lindsay?
It's an anesthetic. It
Whoa.
puts you under essentially.
Oh, so you like Michael Jackson shit?
It's kind of like an opioid a little bit, but I mean,
Oh, is that so? Why are people taking it? Does it get you like?
it's probably cheaper.
It has some hallucinogenic
actual
Okay,
effects.
so there you go.
This is what Matthew Perry got addicted to when it killed him.
Really?
It causes you to have like
Whoa.
a bunch of kidney problems. I was looking at this stuff last night because you were going to talk about this.
Because Matthew Perry just went to sleep. Right? I mean, literally, like while he was in the hot tub.
Yeah, it
He passed
causes
out.
sedation, but for some reason they think it helps with depression. I really don't understand that part, but
Get more. Really
I've heard
go
that.
sleepy.
I've heard that
they
was
use
true.
it in they use it in trials
Yeah.
in small
Right.
doses, microdoses, and it helps with fixing mental illness problems, depression, anxiety.
That's probably the hallucinogenic part of it, right, babe? Because I know that.
Yeah, because they use, like you were saying, shrooms. Right. They've used acid before.
People are clearly getting high from it.
What's that one in South America they use?
Ayahuasca.
A special K-trip, K-land, K-hole, baby food, K-hole. God. These are the nicknames for ketamine.
Dude, that's
for
a good
Kevin, too.
That's a good street name for
K-hole.
K-hole.
I'm going to start calling that.
K-land.
Yo, K-hole.
It's actually kind of sick. I like
awesome.
that.
It sounds interesting.
Like, where did you get it? Right in the freaking K-hole.
Oh,
shit. Right in the K-hole. Right in the K-hole.
Okay, so like I was looking at videos of like the different videos of Elon purportedly impaired. And there's some really, really interesting videos of just like focusing on his face and what he's doing.
Yes.
Like
this one the other day, he's like sitting there with his tongue in it. He's like, oh, like
he's on
tripping.
something, man. The guy was.
But
on
I mean,
something.
so
why would you go to the White House like that?
No,
like
no
honestly,
clue.
like
you're
that's
addicted.
probably the
you're
last.
Addicted.
Well, you're addicted and you don't have any respect for the position.
I agree with Lindsay on that. Mm-hmm. Do you think he's addicted to ketamine? I don't know about that.
I think he's just addicted to hallucinogens. I mean,
I think he doesn't give a fuck about
done multiple hallucinogens.
But like when he sees President Trump and he's in the Oval Office, it doesn't faze him in the slightest bit. He's like, of course I'll get high before I go there. Why wouldn't I?
This is part of his. Right? This is his personality.
I'm going to bring my 5-year-old son or 3-year-old son with me. I'm going to not wear a tie. I'm going to wear a MAGA hat.
Because he's the richest man in the world.
I know. Flexing. He's like, I never have to take a piss test, so of course I'm high. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't I be high?
Well, we talked about
this. Because who's going to call me out on it? Because I'm the richest man in the world, right?
So he's taking these things. They said he was taking these things for depression and some other issues and things like that. Can you imagine how depressed he's going to be, like, with his decisions and how they have really caused? He's got to have so much pressure from his own inner circle and all of his board of directors and stockholders and everybody else. So I mean, he's not going. If he has an addiction, it's not going to get better. What he's done to his situation in life right now.
I remember when we talked about this early on when he was in the White House. And Tom kept saying, and I agree with him, he's like, this is like a flex by him. Mm-hmm. I'm going to come in here. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to wear a tie. I'm going to bring my kid.
I can do whatever I want.
I'm going to, be on drugs. It's just like,
by the way,
I'm bigger than everybody in this room.
If you remember, Kevin, he also met with the previous Pope right around the same time with his kid. And when he met with the Pope with his kid, he was dressed appropriately. Yep. He wasn't high on ketamine. Mm-hmm. It was like when he's with the President of the United States.
Because the Vatican's scary, guys.
Okay, but like the Vatican is like strict. They're like, get the fuck out of here. I don't care if you're the richest man in the world or not. We have standards.
Money doesn't
here, right?
mean much.
Right. So they're like, bounce. Get out, Elon. You're high. Come back when you're not high if you want to meet with the Pope, right? But in America, money talks, right? Oh. And he could be like, dude, the president is my bitch, basically. I gave him $250 million. I could come in here with my dick hanging out if I want to, right? Like, he could do whatever he wants.
That would have been something.
He could do whatever he wants. He's like, I gave this guy $250 million. I don't have any respect for him. He's my bitch.
When you see Trump sitting in the Oval Office at his desk, at time, he's watching Elon, and at times, like if it was anybody else in the whole universe, he just is ready to explode, and he just you can see him just his blood is boiling.
Look, we knew that it was not going to last long, and I think what's happened is, I was talking to John about this before the show, is that you see that it's the worm's turning, right? Like Elon's out, Elon's handpicked guy that he wanted at NASA is out, all like the conservatives,
I
MAGA
didn't put
guys.
that together. Because I heard that the NASA guy got bumped. I'm like, who gives a shit?
Yep,
like, this happens all the time.
And they said it was
I didn't realize that. Okay, that's
and that was only going to help SpaceX.
I did. Okay, I didn't put that together. Because it flashed across my screen. So and so gets bumped from NASA. I'm like, who gives a fuck?
And they used some excuse that like because he gave to Senate Democrats, and,
right?
Whatever. It's
God forbid you freaking donate to. Can you imagine like giving to a dirty ass Democrat like me? That's a disqualifier right off the bat. You nasty Democrat, and gave to a Democrat. You can never run NASA.
He's a dirty Democrat by his soap.
That's right. By the soap. By the soap.
Dirty Democrat soap.
These comments come to you from Committee to Elect Tom McDermott from Mayor.
No, these comments come from Cantrell and Cantrell.
I'm going to be selling this out of my trunk, and we're going to make millions.
Do you think it's possible?
It's Tom's body goop.
Oh God!
Because like we ran out of water, so we used goop.
Before he got in the vat, he did use a dude wipe on the dirtiest part.
Okay.
Of it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right. Hey,
Can
let's
we
go to the
not?
third topic.
You guys are so gross.
Sorry,
I know. Sorry, Lindsay.
We've only got 5 minutes left for John. Don't
I
worry.
know, we gotta get
Earmuffs,
this.
Lindsay.
All right. Hey,
Earmuffs.
I picked the 3 best topics for Johnny Law in the studio.
So the show's going to just go.
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
down
after
it.
this,
You
yeah,
can tune
tune
out.
out,
Apparently,
tune
Tom's
out.
telling you to tune out.
Tune out. Yeah.
Thank you to our sponsors.
So this is a good one. This is a good one.
Tune
By
out.
the way, John's not going to be here for the Billy Strings part. I'm just telling all 4 of you in the studio right now.
I think you said the first 3 articles were the best.
No. I'm just telling this before I get into this. You guys are fucking up not going to see Billy Strings.
I've already
I
gone.
have concert tickets.
This weekend, you guys are
I've
fucking
already
up.
gone.
This weekend, you're fucking up by not going to see
I
Billy
already
Strings.
have
seen 'em.
tickets.
Okay. I'm just telling you.
I went to college in Kentucky. I'm really open-minded about
You're
those
going,
things.
Lindsay?
Yeah.
No, I've got tickets to Coheed and Cambria. We've been sitting on these for a year. I'm going to that one.
And I have a bit of a conflict. Jerry Seinfeld is coming to the Horseshoe.
Oh, no way.
and also,
Yeah.
Dad, isn't
Friday.
your first grandchild being induced that day? Why are you going to a
Wait,
concert?
what?
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
The baby is going to come out that
Why are we
morning.
doing a video blog?
Hold on.
I know. I'm trying to sell
Dad
that
is
to my
making
daughter-in-law.
decisions, okay?
I'm trying to sell that to
The
my
reason why
daughter-in-law.
he has an
Hey,
extra
Eileen,
ticket is
can we-
because Marissa's not going anymore.
Whoa.
Yeah, I have an
Tom-
extra-
Because
was the-
baby's being induced.
Tom was the doula
No.
on the submarine, so I feel like
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Like, Eileen
I mean,
doesn't
you've
even
had
know my
experience.
background.
I know. Yeah.
Wasn't it an all-male crew?
If
Yeah,
I,
but that doesn't matter.
You
John.
never know.
no, there were several
You'll never
people
know.
on the ship.
It's all about the hands.
All right. Hey, did you guys see in Russia,
This is awesome.
the Ukraine did like a Pearl Harbor and wiped out 40 Russian bombers with a drone attack.
Long-range bombers, by the way.
Long range. These are
our
like nuclear.
B2s.
Right. These are like nuclear deterrent
Not a
bombers.
single ounce of bloodshed.
Right.
Really?
And just
Crippled an
annihilated
army.
$7 billion worth of Russian assets. And these are.
Incredible.
So this is a TikTok of it. I know you guys can't see it unless you're watching, but
It's just music.
these
Okay.
bombers are obliterated, just sitting on the runway.
So the
Is this
interesting
real footage?
Yes.
The interesting
my
thing about this, I don't know if this is John. I guess this is real footage. Yeah,
This is absolutely real.
Okay,
Looks real.
Yeah.
So this is what
It's
I
on
was.
TikTok, man. It's real.
It's got to be
Gotta be.
true.
it could be AI.
Kinda looks
That Stuff's
AI.
getting real.
And these don't look like long-range bombers to me. But anyway, regardless, here's what I was going to say is that the information that I read about this, 18 months in the making, this plan. The drones, I think you pointed out, Tom, they were like only $4,000 each.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They got them shipped, and they came out of wooden boxes in semis, and then flew as far as Mongolia to bomb these things, to blow up these things.
No, the semis were stationed. They could only
Yeah.
fly.
I'm saying the drones flew as far as Mongolia.
But like, so because they were attached to wires, they could only fly like 5K away from.
oh,
they
where
were
the truck
launched.
was
Right.
maybe the trucks.
So
got
the
all the
trucks
way in.
parked. So what they would do is,
Oh.
so the drivers of these trucks were just regular Russians. They had no idea they were toting drones around the country. They bid on these jobs. They got a job, and they were driving there, and then they'd get a phone call and said, "Hey, drop your load right here. We have another person coming to pick it up." And these guys are like, "Okay." So they dropped the load, and then they were sitting there, and one of them actually filmed all the drones flying out, and he's like, "What the fuck
I
is
haven't
going on in
seen
my
that.
truck?"
I gotta
And he
find
films
that.
it, and they were flying out, and this guy is like, "I am gonna get killed because they're gonna think I'm part of this,
Yep.
right?" But all these truck drivers had the same story. They're like, "I don't know what the hell happened. My truck just freaking like went crazy, and all these drones
That's
flew
how
out of it."
like secret
They
it was. And they
tricked
said
them
they were
out.
Yeah.
double bottomed trailers where they were concealed inside these mobile wooden boxes that they shipped separately. They compared it to like what it the pager attack in Lebanon.
Did you guys see the leftover of these? Basically, it's like fishing wire that's connected to these drones.
See, these are the size of the bombers.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
here.
This is actually footage, I think, of it.
Right.
So they're showing
So the drone is like gently touching down.
Right.
And
No,
it's just gonna blow
that's
up?
going really fast.
Oh.
It's just slowed down, and it just annihilates into the. It's like each of those drones is wiped out at the end of this mission. See, and those are the trucks that
It's awesome.
the guy is like
Honestly.
he disconnected and he's getting ready to leave, and he's like, all of a sudden, all these drones start flying out of my truck.
They were hidden in the trucks. It's crazy. And I think that's the thing is that these bombers, I was reading about these bombers. A lot of these were made in the 50s and 60s during the Cold War. That's why you see some of them had propellers on them. That's how old some of this technology
But the thing
was.
is now, just like the submarine force that we have,
Oh, my God. Look at
we have a submarine force underwater that's deterrent to nuclear aggression by either country, so that theoretically, let's say the Russians surprise attack America and wipe out all of our nuclear capabilities, our submarines can launch and wipe out Russia from under, and you don't know where they are. At the same time, we have submarines, we have fixed assets on land, you know, in places like Colorado, Idaho, places like that, and we also have up in the long-range bombers that are constantly up in the air. So we have 3 different sources of wiping you out.
You know, they call
Russia.
that like the nuclear triad or something, right? You got sea, land, and air.
So now, once you take out one of those legs of the triad, it messes everything up. Because Russia's got the same thing we have, but their Air Force is annihilated. $7 billion worth of bombers. And by the way, all these sanctions against Russia, they're not going to be able to just crank out bombers very easily.
I don't think many people can. I mean, who builds those, really? U.S.?
Probably U.S.
And
Boeing.
They said,
I mean, there's 2 companies in the world. So basically Boeing
and Airbus, probably.
Yeah, right.
And by the way, I don't think either of those are going to be like, oh, let's build them for Russia.
For Russia, right.
Mm-hmm. They said, literally, they said they stopped building long-range bombers in Russia in the 60s.
Yeah.
During the Cold War.
That's
wow.
great. So great job.
Awesome.
To Ukraine.
Probably somewhere in China they built
if you're in any way disturbed by this story, you're a Russian asset, man. You're a Russian asset in America because Americans are with the Ukraine. I don't care where this orange man is, where the orange man in the White House is. Any American worth their salt is with the Ukraine. And like Lindsay said, not one American died during this raid. We wiped out $7 billion.
Not one Russian civilian
Awesome.
died.
Wait. Hold on, Tom.
Yeah.
The orange man, quote unquote, he's been pretty hard on Putin lately.
Yeah, but he's also like, I'm going to end the war on day one. This would have never happened if I was president. Well, if you were president and Putin listens to you so much, why is he still going right now?
No, it's true. But also, you compared this to Pearl Harbor. I am actually concerned, like, what happened after Pearl Harbor, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, what's Putin going to do?
No, that's a great point.
I mean,
he's going to retaliate, and I just hope the president and his envoys and stuff can get this thing done, because the sooner the better.
The question is he going to retaliate with nuclear weapons? Because I know that they were throwing that around, tactical nukes.
That's a red line, man.
I agree with you, man.
Putin just came out and said the red line is gone.
He got destroyed, dude. They destroyed his Air Force.
The scariest part
with
about
no
all this,
bloodshed, though.
Right,
so
but
why
what do you
be
do?
a dick about it?
John?
The future of fighting is drones.
Without a doubt.
Like, how many people are going to get murdered in the next 5 years where they don't know who did it? Just
wait till
drone
street
zaps
gangs
you?
get drones,
dude. You know what's crazy? I was watching a preview of a movie that's coming out, and they had the president of the United States at like Camp David, and they launched like 100 drones at the president in this case, and they were like these types of drones just going
Just
right
to
at
show
him, just wiping out everybody, and they were like trying to hide the president, but like
it was a movie.
Oh,
movie
movie.
that's
I think you
coming
said it
out.
was like a
no. It's
Yep,
a movie.
it actually
Did you see the drone that the Russians had that went into like a Ukrainian trench, and they were spraying molten liquid, and it was 2,800 2,800 degrees, and they just had all the Ukrainians in this trench, and the drone came in and dropped 2,800 degree, and you just hear people screaming.
That sounds.
I mean, so
horrible.
like drones freak me out. You know, I have this case
is.
where my client allegedly flew a drone into the Westville prison.
I heard about that.
Drones
Yeah.
are relatively
about it.
cheap and easy to use, and they have amazing capabilities.
But like the
They're
thing
so
about
scary.
drones right now, why they have them on fishing line is because they figured out how to jam the drones. So
Right.
like you could jam this is something where John.
Wait, say that again. Fishing line?
The fiber optic cable
cable.
that's connected.
Oh.
These drones were all connected by cable. So when the attack was over, it was like spider webs all over because it was hundreds of drones and the cable's still on the ground. So these people were just sweeping up the cables afterwards.
So they
That's
can't
because
be
they
jammed
can't
if
jam
they're
them.
connected to a
Right,
wire.
you can't jam them.
They're,
You don't have to
they're
worry.
hardwired. They're hardwired.
Right.
So interesting.
You can't jam the internet when you're
Right,
hardwired.
but like
That's
so,
sick.
presumably, I imagine. Because think about it, man. That changes everything, dude.
Yep.
The president of the United States is no longer safe.
Right.
If you could launch a bunch of drones at him and you can't jam it,
Nobody's
right?
safe.
Nobody's safe.
You can
Right.
take a drone to shoot out 2,800 degree liquid.
Well, that is insane.
That's to me. That to me is the amazing thing.
Might
Like,
make you
how do
mildly
these drones
uncomfortable.
have the payload capability?
right.
I don't
Right.
understand how
well, dude, they
can-
carry freaking bombs.
Right.
Yeah.
A $4,000 drone, and it can carry like a bowling ball.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It could carry like a bowling ball. That's an interesting way
Wow.
to put it.
Peace out, y'all. I got to roll.
All right,
See you,
John,
buddy.
good luck.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in. We gave you the best
Keep fighting the
segment,
good fight,
so it's
John.
all
Thank you for
downhill
having
from
me.
here.
Yeah. Hey, I'll see you at the soap off.
All right, see you,
all
bud.
downhill from
Yeah.
here.
Thanks, Johnny.
Careful.
All right, let's go ahead and do some ads, and then we come back. We're going to talk a little bit of. I want to talk to you about the Billy Strings concert I went to, and then I went digging into the Lockpot archives yesterday about a prediction I made. I hate to say it, man.
All right, let's talk about this. All right,
So,
we'll get to it.
Yeah, I made
Stay
a prediction.
tuned.
and it
Don't
turned
give
out
it
true.
away. Don't give
I'm
it
not.
away.
I'm not. But I dove into the Lockpot archive to make sure.
I like
'cause
I like the sound of that. The
I know.
Lockpot archive.
It was cool how I did it. I did a keyword search on the iPad. It told me the episode, and then I dove into YouTube and pulled it out. It was great.
I love the fact that
it took me like 5 minutes to find a statement I made, and we have close to 500 episodes, and I made a statement. I pulled it out doing that process. It was great.
Insane.
That was pretty awesome. So
I guess we do have an archives, John.
I am a nerd.
Oh, that is very nerdy.
It is very nerdy, but it's
give it back to Lynn.
Cool. It is pretty cool.
Our database has been corrupted, though, when you delete episodes.
2 episodes are missing.
2 fucking episodes.
I did find the notes on one of them. So.
Did you?
Yeah, I had them hard copied, and
nice.
I
were they like forcibly removed because you said some crazy?
No,
because I walk out of here
because Tom, flips his finger across the screen and deletes things.
I deleted everything, which means I walked out of here and it was highlight, and I probably hit delete or something. All right, Powering Indiana Lake County is our premier and studio sponsor. Powering Indiana Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. At Powering Indiana Lake County, we set the standard for excellence in electrical work. As IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors, we ensure safety, reliability, and quality for Northwest Indiana corporations, businesses, and homes alike. But our mission goes beyond the job site. We're creating a brighter future for the region we proudly serve. Powering Indiana Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community. Find the right electrical contractor at poweringindiana.org.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and outdoor patio, serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven food menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facility offers a unique backdrop for events like bridal showers, reunions, or corporate parties. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Prestmer Insurance Agency. For decades, the Ron J. Prestmer Insurance Agency has been located right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. The Prestmer Agency specializes in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. Prestmer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
The branding room floor. Don't let your business get lost in the shuffle of generic branding and aimless marketing. Trust Northwest Indiana's award-winning full-service marketing agency, the Branding Room Floor. Providing data-driven results to help your business grow in a crowded market is their specialty. From website development and digital advertising to graphic design and branding, the Branding Room Floor will set your business or organization on a clear path to strategic success. Don't wait another day to get started. Visit thebrandingroomfloor.com today.
Michelob Ultra, the official sponsor of the PGA, is a superior light beer with ultra-smooth taste. The refreshingly crisp light lager has only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, making it the perfect beer on the golf course or at the 19th hole. Check out the new Ultra Zero with only 29 calories, making it the perfect zero-alcohol beer for any time of the day. Head over to Cal Brew or the Michelob Ultra websites or social media pages for more info about this great family of beers. Enjoy the Michelob Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Thanks.
Kuklakis Law. Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kuklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Do you need representation buying or selling real estate? Call Kuklakis Law. How about forming a new business? Call Kuklakis Law. Did you get injured in a car crash or at your job? Call Kuklakis Law. No matter what your legal issue, call 219-671-6347 for a free consultation. Who are you going to call? Kuklakis Law. Hablamos Español.
Thanks to our sponsors,
including our studio sponsor, Powering Indiana Lake County.
Interesting today, reading my local papers. I had 2 local papers. I read both of them before I usually get to the studio every day.
One of them he has beef with.
I have beef with all of them, actually. But coming, I noticed today reading the front pages of both of my local papers, there was one common theme. The common theme was trouble in paradise as far as higher education is concerned. All 3 of the major Indiana universities are on the front page of my 2 local newspapers talking about massive cuts because the state is cutting tuition support to our universities. The feds are cutting tuition support to our universities. And not only that, this enrollment cliff we've been talking about is staring them down.
Dude. And foreign students.
And
think about the revenue.
Good point.
I was thinking
Chinese
about locally with Purdue Northwest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of Chinese students there.
There was 10 years ago. There was a ton of Chinese students that came to Purdue Northwest, and they pay top dollar for tuition.
Top dollar,
right?
Wait, like triple tuition, double the tuition that an American student pays. It's big revenue.
I tell you what, man. A lot of people take jobs in the universities, and they think they're secure for the rest of their career, and they always have been, but not with
A lot of people took jobs in the federal government. That was like, you can't get fired from the federal government. I remember my college and law school roommate said when he worked in the JAG Corps, there were guys in there that didn't do shit. And there's like, they can't fire him. Can you get rid of him?
Wow.
Yeah. Right. So you can now. Just ask Elon. Ketamine.
Interesting, Dave, in the news. So you got universities crying foul, and then we got a state senator on the front page of the Times getting pulled over during session. He blew a .28.
Oh, that's
4 times the legal limit.
Yeah, and
Awesome. That's crazy.
so
that's borderline, like,
well,
right?
a couple interesting things about that story that I read. And
so this is, by the way,
right now,
Mike Bohasek, the state senator from LaPorte.
Michiana Shores.
Michiana Shores, yeah.
So he's senator rep. Senator. Okay.
Mike
so,
Bohasek,
senator. What I read about this
Okay.
that's really interesting.
I hope he gets the help he needs.
Is that it came in as a call from somebody who was witnessed him coming out of a fast food restaurant and stumbled into his car.
Dude, you have to be shitbagged if you're getting called like that.
The police officer said
I saw this guy for 10 seconds. He has no business being in a car.
So the report said that and these are all allegations, obviously. The report said that he had food all over him when he got pulled over. So, and he said he had taken medication.
Right.
So, and this is the other interesting thing. The Constitution doesn't allow a legislator to be arrested during session.
That's where I was going.
So they had to drive him. It was
in February. This happened.
It was January, and it was under seal till Monday, till yesterday. Yeah, you're right, Tom. January, February. And the police had to drive him to his house in Michiana Shores and drop him off.
So because it's during session and you're a state senator or state representative, you can flash your badge and say, I have immunity. But like what I always thought that meant
from arrest at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're like, get away, cop. And then they take him home, but they're like, you do have immunity. I cannot arrest you now because you're in session. I'll talk to you when session's over.
Whoa.
And then they file charges against
you could
them
think
when
about why
session's
they
over.
have that, right? Because, I mean, I was about to say back in the day, but who knows anymore, right? I mean, theoretically, let's say the governor could tell the state police, go arrest all these guys, and they couldn't be around for a vote.
Right.
Interesting.
Not that I don't think that would happen, but that's why they're immune from arrest.
What are you talking about? It could easily happen.
Not anymore,
like
you're
you
right.
said.
You're right.
Right. So anyway, even though you're a state rep and you think you have immunity, it doesn't mean that the prosecutor can't file charges once session's over. And that's what they did in State Senator Mike Bohasek's case. They didn't arrest him. They took him home like nice police officers. And now that session's over, they filed OWI charges against him for driving 4 times over the legal limit.
.28 is serious.
You have no business being behind the wheel at .28, Senator. No. You know that.
Scary.
Unbelievable. So anyway, interesting day in the news. But I was a good husband this weekend. And Lindsay is sort of correct. Marissa can't go with me this weekend to see Billy Strings. I have 2 days worth of tickets this weekend. Marissa can't go because she has a training thing, believe it or not, a judge training thing, and it's going to take her all week, actually.
I'm trying to rally Ethan to go with me if he's got time. He's in town, so we'll see. I'll let you know.
You can't go Friday or Saturday, Jay Vez?
I can't go Saturday, and I'm on the fence about Friday.
Well, if you want to go.
Seinfeld, man.
You're fucking up. Friday is Seinfeld also?
Friday's Seinfeld.
Friday is Seinfeld only.
Only.
Really? Yeah. No, I'm going to see Billy.
Well, let's show some highlights because this was a good show.
I'm going to see Billy in August, so it's not
That's
all
true.
lost.
By the way, God, I'm so psyched about that. That is unbelievable. Billy Strings is opening for Dead and Company, and I looked at his website.
Best day.
Oh my God. I'm like, is Taylor Swift going to walk out on stage? Like, that's the only way that day gets any better for me.
Wow.
Now introducing Taylor Swift. I'd be like, I'm going to die right here.
Tom jumps into the bay.
Yeah.
That's it. Right up the Golden Gate Bridge.
It doesn't get better than
Dude, this song right here.
Dies happy.
So, like, keep in mind, now this is 5 dudes on a stage. This is like they don't have drums. It's just like they freaking jam, man. It's a bluegrass type of sound, but this is like and it's very psychedelic.
I mean,
too.
it's really cool. I mean, and I love the fact, and I love bluegrass too, but like, you've got a stand-up bass, you got a fiddle, you got a banjo, you got a guitar. It's awesome. It really is great stuff.
Can you click on that iCloud link? He does one part where he comes out and just plays an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And he did. This is a old song. Actually, Kevin pulled it up, the original version of
I've
Let
heard
the Cocaine Be.
Yeah, actually, the first time I heard this song was when Old Crow Medicine Show did a version of it. And that's a great version, too. This is an awesome version as well.
But Billy String's story, so like this, to him, his story, he was a meth head, basically.
Well,
he was
family,
in prison.
right?
No, he grew up, but he himself was a meth head, too. Went to prison, turned his life around, and sings a lot about, and this guy's like 31 or something. Like, it's not like he's old at all. So...
Oh, tell it to me, drink corn, let the cocaine be, hey, hey, buddy, let the cocaine be. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do, it's kill my friend, it's gonna kill me too, hey, hey, buddy, let the cocaine be. It was made for horses, not for men. Doc said a key, but he didn't know when. Hey, hey, buddy, let the cocaine be. Yeah, tell it to me. Drink corn liquor, let the cocaine be. Hey, hey, buddy, let the cocaine be. Yeah, tell it to me. Drink corn liquor, let the cocaine be. Hey, hey, buddy, let the cocaine be.
I like that it's a pro liquor song.
It's very American.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great song. Great.
Drink cold liquor, let the cocaine be.
I would agree. Yeah. Corn liquor, cold liquor.
I might have to skip Seinfeld. That was amazing.
I'm telling you, man.
Awesome.
So I've seen this guy. I don't know how many. But like Marissa and I accidentally stumbled into this guy. We were in Indy. I was running the triathlon the next day. I bought Marissa a ticket and was like, hey, there's a lot of deadheads there. It's got to be good. And she didn't want to hang with me because I was all in my own head day before a triathlon. So she's like, okay, I'll just see you after. And she went to the show, comes back, and she's like, Tom, you have got to see this guy. You are going to love this guy. And then that's how we found him.
Well, we talked about the fact that, there's like hints around if, Bobby Weir retires from Dead & Company.
Right.
The thing I look forward to if that happens is that, is just like we listen to a lot of Dead shows from the past. Like there's an energy in the 70s Dead shows that like, I love Bobby. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome to have him on stage. But like things have slowed down a bit,
for
right?
sure.
And
Bobby
so you put Billy Strings in,
right?
It all of a sudden gets a lot of
You're
that.
right,
Like
Kevin.
all of a sudden I bet you any money you'll start hearing shows like you did in the 70s with the
So
Dead.
like I love Dead & Company. I love Dead & Company,
Same,
obviously. Okay,
yep.
And I'm a huge Deadhead. Okay, and I know how the songs are supposed to sound. Right. So that's one thing about going to the shows currently. That as much as I love it, every once in a while Bob doesn't hit it the right way.
Yeah, and
I love Bob, and I'm not like dissing on him. He's 78 years old or something like
it's
that.
It's awesome
right?
having him on stage
right,
playing the
but
songs
like,
he's played for 60 years.
Right, but it's also like this last one he played Looks Like Rain. Okay, I taped almost the whole song. I love that song. It's like a Bob song, and he didn't. It was sad to see it because it felt like I was literally watching a guy sing one of his final songs, and I was like getting emotional at the time because I was like, dude, he's struggling through the song a little bit.
Yeah, same thing I had with Standing on the Moon, which is another Bob song. I love it, and he just didn't hit it. And he's
struggling.
I am not being critical.
I'm not either, man. I love the guy.
Right?
I love the guy, but you know how it's supposed to sound,
yes,
right?
Yes.
That's
and so
the thing.
if Bob decides to retire, and it'll be a sad day if he does,
right?
Having Billy Strings in there, I think would really up the energy. Yeah,
that would kill my summers. I would be like on the road again. I would be on the road following these guys. If they played together, you have Dead & Company.
In groupie mode.
Dude, I did that 1 year. What was it, like 22? I like hit the road. I hit like 6 or 7 shows. Like I will definitely, if Billy Strings is touring with John Mayer playing Dead songs.
Those two guitarists, John Mayer, Billy Strings, unbelievable guitarists. So we'll see.
That's the thing Marissa was nervous about because she knows the rumor too, and Marissa loves Billy Strings, and she's like, if he does this, Tom, what if he stops playing his Billy Strings? And
he won't. John Mayer does his.
I was like, that's what the Dead always did. The Dead always did. The winter they go
Jerry
off
Garcia band.
Right, they go off and do their own stuff, and in the summers they tour. You know.
It's going to be interesting. I also brought out my Sturgill Simpson collection. I'm listening to that now. That's Saturday in San Francisco. It's going to be another unbelievable show. And then Troy Anastasio on Sunday.
Yep. So anyway, do you guys, this next segment we're going to do you want to start with the Lockpod clip first, or do you want to start with the big news out of Indianapolis?
I'd say do the news, and then let's go to the
okay.
The
I mean, this isn't huge news. It happened a week or so ago.
Yep.
Okay. Big news out of Indianapolis. Colts owner Jim Irsay has passed away.
Young, by the way.
Yeah, 65. He looks like he's 85 in this picture, but that's what drugs will do to you, unfortunately. Irsay was more than just the boss of the Colts. He was larger-than-life figure in Indiana sports. He was bold, controversial, and unforgettable. Under Jim Irsay's leadership, the Colts became a powerhouse, thanks to moves like drafting Peyton Manning, hiring Tony Dungy, and winning Super Bowl
41. Boo.
Okay. That was 41, right.
Bears.
But his legacy isn't just football. Irsay battled addiction, spoke openly about mental health, and brought a rock star energy to the NFL owner's box. He was outspoken, unpredictable, and always passionate about his team and his state. His life wasn't perfect, but it was real, and it mattered. Indiana's football story cannot be told without Jim Irsay. Rest in peace, Mr. Irsay.
I mean, brought the Colts from Baltimore. So
That was his dad, though, wasn't it?
You're right. Yep, you're right, Tom. So, but anyway, I think the interesting thing about this is that it wasn't too many years ago. Definitely was the old studio, and we definitely had a lot
That
of...
was old studio? It was 1 year ago, Kevin.
No,
So
this was the new studio.
Oh, this is new studio?
Yeah.
yeah. Look at the wall.
Wow.
It was 1 year ago.
Holy cow.
We were
Okay.
sitting right
1
here.
year ago. All right.
So 1 year ago on Lockpad, this is the research I did yesterday. If you remember, Jim Irsay just came out at the time and was talking about he had just overdosed for the second time, I believe. And I was like, dude, if you overdose twice, you're going to die, basically. Because if you didn't learn your lesson after the first overdose, there's no way you're going to keep dodging this bullet. And basically, I said it right here on Lockpod.
Yep.
And we're not saying, by the way, that he died from an overdose, right?
No, we're not.
Right.
But we don't know how he died.
Drugs definitely do a number on your system.
Well, like we were
He's
saying,
a known
Liz,
drug user.
look at him in that wheelchair. Look at that picture. He looks like he's 85 in that picture. He's 9 years older than me. And he's wheelchair bound. He looks like an old man. So
Short-lived fun will have like years and years of consequences, and it's honestly it's depressing to see that, especially from a healthcare perspective. Because like you said, if you don't learn your lesson the first time, then people are just going to keep doing it, and eventually it's just going to destroy you.
I know somebody. Well, did Keith Richards overdose?
Who knows?
The thing is, that's just my theory is. Nowadays, with the fentanyl everywhere, it's bad enough if you're if you're on coke or heroin because you're dealing with fentanyl potentially. One of those doses you get could have fentanyl and it could kill you, right?
That's a good point, Tom, because like in the 60s and 70s, there wasn't that issue. It's
Everybody's
just like,
doing
here's
cocaine.
LSD and here's
cocaine and there was piled on the table and you just went and snorted it, right? Nowadays, that could easily be laced with fentanyl, and if you do too much, you go to sleep and you don't wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So basically, this was 1 year ago. Almost. It was, I believe, in March of 2024. We were talking about Jim Irsay right here on Lockpod. Could we go ahead and play that?
What's to say?
A couple weeks ago, we did a story with Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay. This was, there's a situation going on in America right now. This is not news. This is a fact. The fentanyl is ruining lives and families across the country. Fentanyl has made its way from a surgical drug into cocaine, into fake prescription pills. There's liquid forms of fentanyl, which is scary as hell because it only takes literally a drop of fentanyl to kill you. So imagine if somebody put a couple drops in your drink, you're done. It's complete poison. It'll cause you to stop breathing. Whenever I hear any story about people dying together, like the one we talked about last show, where the three guys, the Kansas City Chiefs fans, went into the backyard and they decided to do cocaine. We found
we don't know
all three
what
of them.
they did, but maybe cocaine. Did they say cocaine? I don't know.
They found cocaine in their system.
Okay, got it.
And it had fentanyl, so I imagine that's how it happened.
Gotcha.
But
I didn't remember.
So what I'm saying is fentanyl is ruining lives, and it's not just the poor. It's not a white thing. It's not a black thing. It's not, it has nothing. It has to do with every demographic group. And just to prove that, a billionaire, the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, was revived at his home for the second time in December, I believe, overdosing on what is believed to be fentanyl.
Yeah, he hasn't. And the interesting thing is, his most public statement just said he's on the mend. He thanks everybody for their prayers and all the messages of love and support. He said that on X on Tuesday, but no, he hasn't come out. Although he has been very open about his previous addiction issues, he hasn't come out on this and said this is what it was.
Right. In fact,
so he's been to rehab 15 times.
The Colts statement said that
severe respiratory illness,
respiratory illness, and he's on the mend. Although when he was found in December overdosing, he was revived using Narcan by the Carmel Fire Department.
Yep.
He was found. He was blue. He was in his bathroom. They administered Narcan. He started breathing. They took him in. And the scary thing is that it's coming. That was the second one that's been reported. That's the ones we know about. And I came out with a thumb rule. It's a grim thumb rule. But I said, anybody that has overdosed once and they don't immediately fix their life, they're probably going to die.
Ooh, don't say anything about me.
That's chilling.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I
It's
mean,
true,
I
though.
think that like 2 overdoses indicates that there's a habit.
Yep.
That there's a habit that he's not successful in correcting.
And you're not, because like after the first overdose, everybody's like, "Are you crazy?
Yeah.
You could have easily died."
Mhm.
And if that doesn't fix
that
you,
doesn't
if you
straighten
overdose
you out.
twice, you're dead. In my opinion, that's my thumb rule. Is like 2 overdoses, you didn't learn anything off the first overdose, and you're gonna die.
Yeah, I
and
mean, it's-
unfortunately, it's very true.
This is
Yeah,
so crazy because last night I had a dream that I was somewhere and there was an overdose and like Narcan. Nobody had Narcan, and I was so mad because
that's
it's free from some places, and it's
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, whether you learn something from it or addiction just has that much of a hold on you, right? I mean,
Do you agree, though?
Yeah, I mean, I think
if you don't learn anything from the first overdose,
and I guess I'm just, the only issue I'm taking is like learn anything, right? Because I mean,
Learn not to
unfortunately,
take
addiction like overtakes your brain, and you don't necessarily think right.
That's why you're gonna die.
Yeah,
that's why you're gonna die, because you don't realize. Every time I put this in my veins, every time I put this in my nose, it could be the last time I do it. You don't realize that. It's because the addiction is overriding your common sense.
Right, or you do realize it, but you do it anyway because of the addiction. You know, either way.
It's overriding your common sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, let's do some ads. We're going to come back. We got a couple of real short.
Did you have
things
something,
to talk
John?
about. Oh, sorry, John.
I was just going to say, to Lindsay's point, even if his cause of death was not an overdose here, who knows
it impacted it somehow.
drug
right?
use
If it was caused
destroys
by-
your body.
Yeah.
Period.
There you go. Yeah.
That is
Well, that's why he
an
looks like he
unavoidable
did
fact.
in that wheelchair.
That's why he
picture.
looked like he did.
Yeah.
So-
Right.
All right.
We're going to come back. We got some interesting thing about steel tariffs, and if we got time, some Second Amendment stuff.
All right. Let's. MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. Stay in the loop and connected by hitting up their website at mcrpartnersllc.com for tailored assistance. Don't hesitate to reach out to Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
Tortilla Nueva Leon is the gold standard of Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortilla Nueva Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy Mexican products made with local expertise.
Sorry.
Tortillas Nuevo León,
Sorry.
hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
There they are. Elevate your brand. Misprint. From printing and sign solution and metal business card producer in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltonsberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time and within your budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions that leave a lasting impression. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today.
Do you want somebody who's in the court or at the jail every single day, even on days he appears on Lockpod?
And was even in the studio today.
We should make him read this one day.
If so, hire Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? If so, give them a call. Schedule a consultation with somebody who's in the court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-5544-LAW. That's 219-554-4529. Or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Mice in the kitchen, ants in your bed, spiders up high, messing with your head. Don't grab a flamethrower. That's just a bit extreme. Just call the bug guys. We're the dream team. We'll evict your pests without a fight, and you'll sleep soundly every night. No bugs, no drama, no creepy surprises. Just clean, safe homes from the bug guys. Now call now because your house is not an insect Airbnb. The bug guys at 219-810-7481.
Thank you to our sponsors, including our studio sponsor, Power in Indiana Lake County. Finish up the show. We got a couple of quick articles here, one of which hits home here in Northwest Indiana. You know, obviously we're the biggest steel producing area in the country. President Trump, after they announced...
Is that true? Are we bigger than Pittsburgh as a region?
I think yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes. I mean, maybe
we probably
maybe I
are.
just got some region pride.
Because we have 3 counties where it's producing steel, like Porter and LaPorte.
Yeah, major.
Is LaPorte out there? I don't think they are, actually.
Well, anyway, I think we're either 1 or 2. How about that?
Okay. Well, definitely
in steel producing. Right. And President Trump was in Pittsburgh last week for a big rally at U.S. Steel, one to announce the Nippon and Steel, U.S. Steel, I don't want to say merger, whatever, purchase, this agreement that they have to
actually
big investment.
The largest
don't say Alabama or
steel
Arkansas.
Producer in the United States is Nucor Corporation
in
North
not producer,
Carolina.
not producer. We're talking about as a region.
Producing region.
Or as a state. But thank you, Linz, for that. So Donald Trump was in Pittsburgh to celebrate the Nippon Steel, U.S. Steel conglomeration, and he also wanted to announce that he was going to up tariffs on steel imported to the U.S. at 50%, double their current rate. It takes place tomorrow. I have no idea if it's going to be a taco day for the market, but tomorrow is the day that they're supposed to go from 25 to 50. We'll see what happens. And the European Union and Japan are obviously not real happy about this tariff. The president, however, celebrated and said, we're going to be imposing a 25% increase. We're going to bring it from 25 to 50%. The tariffs on steel in the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States. Nobody's going to get around that. At 25%, they can sort of get over that fence, Trump said. At 50%, nobody's getting over that fence. He also said that it was his great honor to raise it and that our steel and aluminum industries are coming back like never before. This will be yet another big jolt of great news for our wonderful steel and aluminum workers. Make America great again, Trump wrote on Truth Social. Here's a question I have for Tom.
Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this, and as I was reading the article about spot pricing on steel, as soon as the tariffs were announced, spot pricing went up for American steel. And I'm thinking, doesn't that just like...
profit taking.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, thanks, Mr. President. Because we're just going to raise the price.
He just gave us a 50% profit margin, basically, so we could raise it 20%, give it to the shareholders and the investors of U.S. Steel, and it's 20% higher on the American customers also because they're still getting a 30% break compared to what the other steel is costing.
Right. I was thinking, okay, so basically if American steel is, let's say, overpriced by 20%,
right,
and then they impose a 50% tariff, you've got 30% to play with.
Right.
I mean, true?
Yeah.
And that just makes the cost to consumers go up.
Right. Prices rise. Because
so tariffs
we got all this cushion now.
They insulate you from competition.
Well, like all the executives are going to take bigger salaries. All the shareholders are going to get bigger returns. Presumably, the union members will get more.
On the backs of the consumer.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
What region of the United States produces the largest amount of steel?
I asked Indiana.
I asked ChatGPT this question. Indiana is the leading state in steel production in the United States, accounting for approximately 26% of the nation's total raw steel output as of 2021. This dominance is largely due to the concentration of major steel mills in the Calumet region of northwest Indiana, particularly in cities like Gary, which is home to U.S. Steel's Gary Works, the largest integrated steel mill in North America. Other significant steel-producing states include Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, which contribute 12%, 5%, and 5%, respectively, to the nation's steel production. These states, along with Indiana, are part of the Rust Belt, a region historically known for its robust industrial and manufacturing centers.
See, I had that factoid, John, without the use of ChatGPT.
Yeah. What factoid?
Indiana's number one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But how about this? In recent years, Northeast Arkansas has emerged as a notable player in the steel industry, particularly in the production of sustainable, low-carbon steel. The region's strategic location and investment in modern, eco-friendly steelmaking facilities have positioned it as a growing hub for steel production.
That's why they call them like the mini mills. They don't need blast furnaces.
Right, they're all electric.
Right.
They're better for the environment. And that's a big threat to the steel workers. It's a big threat to the integrated steel facilities like we have up here in the region because these are not environmentally friendly.
So it will be interesting to see tomorrow the tariffs are going to kick in. This is also a big hit, I think, to the automotive industry because they get a ton of their steel, obviously, to manufacture. And prices now, spot pricing, like you just mentioned, went up to the auto industry who buys it from the mills.
So all of our
also Canadian steel is going to be taxed 50%.
This is a victory for the Trump administration, right?
I would say yes.
I think so.
And the U.S. Steel, I'm talking about the Nippon Steel investment, is a huge victory. Huge victory. And by the way, now, knowing what we know now, because we talked to Kevin and then we talked to ChatGPT to confirm him, that Indiana is the largest state for steel producing. Gary Works is home. Gary Works is the largest integrated steel mill in the United States. Nippon Steel agrees to partner with U.S. Steel for $15 billion. And where does the president go to announce this?
Pittsburgh.
Right. Why?
Battleground state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all politics. Why does he not come to Indiana? He's got Indiana in the bag, right? Why the hell would I go to Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to go to Pittsburgh because Pennsylvania, and I'm going to talk about a $15 billion investment in Pennsylvania. By the way, they're not talking about shit in Gary right now. Everything that they're talking about with the $15 billion investment is for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's
I haven't said shit. The local steel members are talking about this too. Gary Works hasn't had any promises made to it.
We're going to see what happens.
And I've heard and I've read that they're going to realign a blast furnace in Gary Works, which is huge.
Deal.
It's like $1 billion or something along those lines. But the fact is, there's nothing in writing like there is with, what's going on in Pennsylvania.
Like you mentioned with the steelworkers, I saw a quote from their national yesterday that said, we've learned along the way many, many times that until you see it in writing, it's not true.
I agree with that.
We'll see what happens. I think the interesting thing about Trump is Trump and Biden were on the same page, and I think no candidate that's running for president would have said anything different while they're running, which is I'm against the U.S. steel sale to foreign country. And Trump now obviously flipped a little bit on that, but I think again
completely.
Yeah, I think again it's a good deal for the U.S. steel industry.
I'll be honest with you. I wrote a letter. Like I said, Mayor Melton asked me if I would write a letter to the president along with him, and he talked to other mayors. I wrote a letter because I was looking at it selfishly from Eddie's perspective that $15 billion going into his main company of his city is humongous for that city. And like I said, it's a lot better than what we talked about with the convention center.
Yeah, good for the region.
It's good for the region. Yeah. There's a lot of my residents that work at that location as well, so I thought it was a good idea.
All right, there you go.
Okay. Why don't you fly through these second
amendment? This is really interesting. Just real quick to finish up, if you're kind of a legal nerd like a couple of us here are, and it's interesting. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to call you that. But all right, I'm talking to Marissa. Marissa would like this story.
Yes,
so
I agree.
There go our viewers.
Yeah. That was tanked when Tom said all the good stuff's in the first part of our show. Anyway, real quick, Supreme Court yesterday, this is interesting. There were two cases that were up for the Supreme Court of the United States to consider taking, and they refused to take both of them. One was a case out of Rhode Island that was a ban on large capacity magazines, so they let that stand. And the second was a ban on AR-15 and assault rifles in Maryland that they let stand. So you say to yourself, wait, what? Why would the Supreme Court do that? And it's interesting because Kavanaugh wrote an opinion indicating why they didn't take the cases. And he said, hey, basically, sit tight. We think more AR-15 cases are coming in the next 1 or 2 terms, so basically 1 or 2 years. The case, I would say, if you're really interested in this, look up Duncan versus Bonta. It's out of California. It's going up and down. And the other thing I thought was interesting about this is Ron DeSantis came out of nowhere and did this tweet, and he said, the court has more urgency in bailing out illegal aliens than it does in upholding the rights of Americans, even in regards to an enumerated right in the Constitution, namely the Second Amendment. So keep an eye on these gun cases. There's nothing this term, but according to Kavanaugh, it's all coming. Okay. And it's going to be whether or not assault rifle bans are constitutional or not.
All right. Good stuff. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks to Johnny Cantrell for coming in. Thanks to our
wake up, John.
Yeah. Good to see you again, Linz.
Happy to be here.
And then Jay Vez, appreciate you very much. Yep. Thanks to the audience. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to Johnny Cantrell and Kevin Smith. Great job on the pre-show and another quality episode in the book. So it's season 15, episode 11 is official. We're going to be back on Friday. I'm not sure what the status of the guest.
We got a guest.
We do have a guest. I know, Steve. Do you remember who it is?
Can't remember her name, but she's going to be great.
Also, I saw something appear on the calendar and then disappear. Maybe a Forite appearance at some point?
Yeah, we were trying to get him in from Serbia, but it didn't work. Yes, we're working on it.
Our guest on Friday is Marissa Simonetti.
Yes, sorry about that. Marissa Simonetti.
Marissa Simonetti. So looking forward to her being on Friday. And we'll be here like we always are. Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate you out there very much, and we will see you back on Friday. Lock Pods out, season 15, episode 11. Take care, everybody.